The Young and the Restless preview for the week of October 13th reveals Sharon Newman will make a desperate phone call to Nick Newman. Also coming up, Holden Novak will introduce Claire Newman to Sienna Bacall, and Kyle Abbott will plead with Victoria Newman. YNR, spoilers tease, Kyle will ambush Victoria at Society. He'll tell her he's planning to go to LA to win Claire back, but he'll say he needs her help. Victoria will ask Kyle what it is she's supposed to do. "You have to know where Claire's staying in Los Angeles," he replies in the YNR weekly preview. "All I need is an address. Just tell me where she is." But will Victoria give Kyle what he's asking for? Meanwhile, Claire and Holden will hang out in an LA bar, and Sienna will approach them. She'll ask Holden if Claire is his new girlfriend, but Holden will tell Sienna Claire is just a very good friend. "Well, anyone's better than that last woman you were hanging around with," she'll reply. "What was her name again? Audrey something?" Then Claire will grin and give Holden the side eye. Finally, Nick, who is stuck in Genoa City thanks to Victor Newman, will get a frantic call from Sharon. She'll be standing in an LA hospital room with tears streaming down her face. "Noah's been in a car accident," a frantic Sharon will tell a horrified Nick. "And it's bad, it's really bad." But will Nick hop on the Newman jet to be with Sharon in LA? And will their son be okay? Hey YNR fans, are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our YNR Facebook group, or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. On The Young and the Restless, since revealing himself as the notorious Aristotle Dumas, Cain Ashby has made a slew of new enemies. While some of their disdain remains from the never-ending trio to Nice, Cain's latest threat is an AI program that has Genoa City on high alert. Cain has become a man with nothing to lose, which makes him more dangerous than ever. However, there's one way he can exact revenge against his fellow corporate titans, and her name is Phyllis. Handing over the software to Phyllis could be exactly what Cain needs to take the heat off himself while still maximizing potential destruction. Besides Phyllis, Cain has nobody left in his corner other than Jill. However, Jill probably won't remain in town long enough to manage the fallout of Newman Media's expose. Cain's reputation has been burned beyond recognition, so he has two options on how to handle things. He can either use the AI software himself and decimate every company in Genoa City, from Newman to Jabot, or he can hand it over to Phyllis, someone desperate for relevance. Even before she learned his true identity, Phyllis latched onto Cain/Aristotle. She's thirsty for revenge and the perfect red herring to distract Victor and Jack, while Cain formulates a new plan of attack. Lily could hardly stand to look at Cain before the Newman Media smear campaign, but her disgust has multiplied since Colin's final con was revealed. While he could definitely use the AI program to poison his rival businesses from the inside out, giving it to Phyllis would not only ensure the same, but it would make his hands look clean. Although it's a stretch and might not succeed, it could serve as a foundation of forgiveness. It would take a great deal of convincing because trusting Phyllis shows a lapse in judgment, but any destruction couldn't be directly pinned on him. It could also serve as a reward for Phyllis because of her unwavering loyalty to Cain. When every single person, Amanda included, doubted him, she was still the disgraced mogul's loudest cheerleader. Naturally, Phyllis had ulterior motives regarding her own employment future, but still, Cain has proven he rewards loyalty. And what would be better than giving her the keys to ultimate revenge? Phyllis's conversation with Nick earlier this week was sad to listen to, because it's clear she's feeling defeated from constant doubt. She puts on a brave face and pretends to be unshakable, but it's a facade. Billy promised her a key role at Abbott Communications, yet he discards her on a whim. No matter how many attempts she's made in the past to show Jack she can be trusted, for one reason or another, it doesn't pan out, and they grow more distant than before. With Nick, there's always the elephant of Victor in the room with them, And while Nick champions her to some extent, besides slight gratitude, there's no incentive for her to do the right thing. Bouncing from one company to another, seeking approval has been Phyllis's entire existence for quite some time. Having the AI software in her possession would also serve as a much-needed reminder that someone is in her corner. Kane has the ability to showcase to Phyllis what no one else in Genoa City can offer her: trust and acceptance. Of course, Phyllis is always her own worst enemy, and will probably self-destruct if given that responsibility. But Kane should at least give her the chance. Transferring the immeasurable impact of this AI program is a calculated move that Kane can't afford not to make. The only shot at rebuilding his life and potentially rekindling things with Lily is to free himself of this weapon. Everyone on The Young and the Restless else wants untapped power to take out their top rival. But Phyllis will eviscerate everyone, which would serve Kane's agenda in multiple ways. Here are your spoilers for The Young and the Restless for the week of October 6th to Friday, October 10th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to CBS every day to see how things play out in Genoa City. Monday, October the 13th. Victor gives Nick an ultimatum. Kane plays to Phyllis's strengths. Sharon makes a distress call. Jill makes a big decision affecting her relationship with Billy. Kyle plays hardball. Holden reconnects with someone from his past. Nick and Sharon receive shocking news. Nate comforts Victoria Claire's plan to escape reality hits a detour. Nikki takes matters into her own hands. Tessa visits Mariah. Nick and Sharon meet a mysterious stranger. Jack clears the air with Billy. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, October 10th, reveals Kane Ashby will threaten Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson. Also coming up, Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti will help Lauren Fenmore and Michael Baldwin kiss and make up. And Jill Abbott will finally pay Jack Abbott a visit. Y&R, spoilers tease Jill will show up at Jabot to talk to Jack. She'll say she won't be in town long. She's heading to London for some medical procedures. Jack will worry he made a mistake involving her in everything. Jill will say she's fine, but trying to make amends with Billy Abbott was a big fat failure. She'll add she didn't have any other choice but to sell Chancellor. It was the way you did it, Jack will reply. However, he'll say he'll do his best to talk to Billy. Unfortunately, though, they're on the outs, Jack will admit. Talk will turn to the article Victor Newman Unleashed. Jack will say he's worried it's going to cause Kane to unleash hell on all of them. Just when I thought there was a chance at peace, he'll add. Victor has escalated this war to a new level of uncertainty. However, Jill will say she made Kane see he needs to make amends to Lily Winters and his kids. Jill will add that Kane is terrified the smear on Colin Atkinson's name might be true, which would mean everything he's built was based on a lie. At the jazz club, Cricket will be surprised to see Danny. He'll say he's meeting Michael, and Cricket will tell him she's meeting Lauren. Danny will suggest a table for 4. But Michael and Lauren will walk in. She'll say she doesn't want to sit next to her husband ever again. And that includes your wedding. Danny and Cricket will be stunned. What is going on? Christine will ask. Lauren will say Michael has been lying to her and was involved in one of Victor's schemes. But Michael will say he was just trying to avert a disaster, and he and Lauren will get into a shouting match. So Cricket and Danny will take each of them aside to remind them of what they love about each other. Eventually, Michael will apologize to Lauren. She'll say she's sorry for being so stubborn. The truth is, I love you. Then Danny will ask Michael to officiate their wedding. Yes, I would love to, he'll reply. As for Christine, she'll ask Lauren to be her matron of honor, and she'll say yes. Meanwhile, Kane will show up at Newman Media. I had a feeling we'd be hearing from you, Adam will say. Did you like our article? Adam will ask if Kane wants to go on the record, and he won't respond. It was quite an interesting piece of fiction, Kane will say. I'm going to be suing the hell out of Newman Media for defamation. Chelsea will tell him he can't sue for them publishing the truth. After all, Colin was a con man. How many cons did you pull off back in the day? Kane will ask her. Then he'll turn to Adam and ask why can't he give Colin the same benefit of the doubt he's given Chelsea. We stand by our story, Adam will reply. Kane will prepare to leave, but then he'll say he's got a new story for Chelsea. An exclusive. But this one will have a very different outcome. After he leaves, Adam will say it's all an act. Chelsea will wonder what he's up to. Finally, Phyllis Summers will show up on Kane's choo-choo train, only to find no one there. She'll touch some books on his shelf and he'll show up. "Are you snooping through my things?" he'll ask. But Phyllis will say she was just looking for a deck of cards. Phyllis will grill him about the article. Kane will ask if she's still with him, and she'll say all the way, "Good, because I don't want to talk about the article. I want to talk about the future," he'll reply. "I need to change the way people think about me." Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. Laura Lee Bell is teasing that Friday's episode of The Young and the Restless will feature some reminiscing with the characters of Cricket, Danny, Michael, and Lauren. There's lots of history with these four, and now Y&R will be addressing some of it. Some sweet, serious, and fun interactions with the four of us, so don't miss tomorrow, Friday, October 10. Bell posted on Instagram. Veteran Y&R viewers recall that after Chris and Paul started to have problems, and before she reunited with Danny, Chris entered a romance with Michael. When the two attorneys first met, Chris was new to law, and she admired Michael's ability as an effective attorney. They worked on a case together, and Chris's admiration for Michael only grew. Michael was very different back then. He was obsessed with winning cases and considered himself to be powerful. Michael felt entitled to coerce women into uncomfortable situations. Years before the #MeToo movement took center stage, Y&R addressed sexual harassment in the workforce. Christine wore a wire and got Michael on tape to confess to pressuring her into a situation that she wasn't comfortable with. Michael was censured, and then he went over the edge. Michael burrowed a hole from the apartment next door into Cricket's apartment with Danny. He duct-taped Nina while he planned to have sex with Cricket against her will. Paul came to Chris's rescue and shot Michael to stop him. Michael was imprisoned for about 4 years and off camera with The Young and the Restless. Then he was paroled. Michael worked overtime to not only regain his law license, but re-win Chris's friendship. He donated a kidney to Danny in order to get her to come around. Chris was guarded, but she eventually saw that Michael had changed. But he didn't change that much. Michael had conspired with Isabella to seduce Paul while Chris was working in Hong Kong. When Chris learned that Michael had been so dishonest, she ended their engagement. Years later, they were able to mend fences as friends. On the romantic front, Chris remarried Paul, but then they later divorced. Now, Chris is set to remarry Danny while Michael continues his happy life with Lauren, provided he's not drawn back into Victor Newman's web. As followers of actor Christian LeBlanc know, the actor, who plays Michael Baldwin on The Young and the Restless, had a real-life cancer battle. The 3-time Daytime Emmy winner shared recently how his Y&R family was instrumental in helping him realize that he needed to get some medical aid. LeBlanc and his TV wife, Tracy Bregman, appeared on Soapy, the internet podcast hosted by Greg Ricart and Rebecca Budig. LeBlanc shared how his Y&R family was there for him during his health battle. He explained that he first realized that something was amiss when he was playing Michael. After years and years together, people show up and I'm always surprised because it's work, not family, LeBlanc told the hosts, who assured their friend that he was truly loved. I really credit them for that. Ricart told his TV half-brother, "We love you." For LeBlanc, his cancer diagnosis was, in part, a case of life imitating art, as his Michael had gone through prostate cancer on the show. They did a long, slow pull out with the camera, LeBlanc says, of when Michael learned he was ill. It was an actor's dream. LeBlanc began having nosebleeds before receiving his official diagnosis, but he initially assumed they had come from taking over-the-counter blood thinners. They got worse and worse and worse, he recalls. The actor was shooting a scene at the Genoa City Athletic Club and had been stuffing his nose with cotton to contain the bleeding. That necessitated him requesting that his scene partner, Zuleika Silver, keep a distance so he wouldn't have to raise his head to see her. Everyone was so patient, so good, but there was something going on, LeBlanc recalls. People were much more worried about me than I was, because I was just playing it off. You don't think in those terms. It wasn't until LeBlanc had a scene to shoot in which he had to put on Michael's wedding ring that he realized something deeper may be going on. I put my hand down and the ring fell off my hand, he says. That was the first sign of something odd. Read here to learn how The Young and the Restless star also thanked viewers for noticing something irregular. Fans of Young and Restless star Peter Bergman can see the daytime Emmy-winning actor in a brand new role when he appears in the upcoming Apple TV Plus series Pluribus, premiering on November 7th. The highly anticipated show comes with quite the prestigious pedigree, as it was created by Vince Gilligan, the mastermind behind the acclaimed dramas Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. The logline for Pluribus, a sci-fi drama, says only, "The most miserable person on Earth must save the world from happiness." Set in New Mexico, it stars Rhea Seehorn as the aforementioned miserable person, an author named Carol Sturka, who is on a book tour when a mysterious virus breaks out, one she, and seemingly only she, is immune to. In the recently released first teaser trailer, we see Carol on the phone with Bergman's character, who is unnamed, but works at the White House. He is seen on a television screen speaking to her while she calls in to a C-SPAN broadcast. Carol is clearly different from everyone else in the world, and Bergman's character reassures her that everything will be all right, promising that they will figure out what's wrong with her so that she can join them. Pluribus reunites Breaking Bad creator and Better Call Saul co-creator Gilligan with Better Call Saul star Seehorn, and the series has already been picked up for 2 seasons by Apple TV Plus. After 15 years, I figured it was time to take a break from writing anti-heroes. And who's more heroic than the brilliant Rhea Seehorn? It's long past time she had her own show, and I feel lucky to get to work on it with her, Gilligan told Deadline. And what nice symmetry to be reunited with Zach Van Amberg, Jamie Ehrlicht, and Chris Parnell. Jamie and Zach were the first 2 people to say yes to Breaking Bad all those years ago. They've built a great team at Apple, and my wonderful longtime partners at Sony Pictures Television, and I are excited to be in business with them. Bergman's career took off when he played Cliff Warner on All My Children from 1979 to 89, then continued as he joined the cast of Y&R in 1989 to take over the role of Jack Abbott, earning 3 Daytime Emmy Awards for his work over the decades. During his time on the CBS Sudsur, the actor has also moonlighted in TV movies like Danielle Steele's Palomino and Woman on the Ledge, as well as in episodes of shows such as The Nanny and The King of Queens. Now he adds another role to his resume. Bergman's dulcet tones are perfectly chilling in the teaser trailer as he gently tries to assure Seehorn's character that they'll do everything they can to help her, even as she clearly does not desire their help one bit. You can check him out in the teaser trailer below, and then tune in to watch him in Pluribus when it premieres on Apple TV Plus on November 7th. In about a week, Lyndon Ashby, who played diabolical Cameron Kirsten on The Young and the Restless, will find out if he can add Daytime Emmy winner to his bio. The actor is nominated for Outstanding Guest Performer in a Drama Series for reprising the spirit of Cameron last year. Ashby first made the daytime scene in 1985 when he was cast as Blue Blood Curtis Alden on the gone but never forgotten ABC soap Loving. He first played Cameron, who was obsessed with Sharon, over 20 years ago. While he was killed off in 2003, the character returned as some kind of spirit or figment of Sharon's psyche while she was going through a challenging time. The actor chatted with Soap Opera Digest about his 2nd consecutive nomination. "Look, the older I get, the more I know for a fact that one thing is true. It all begins and ends with writing," Ashby said. "If it's written well, you stand a chance. I mean, you can screw up a good script, but you cannot make a bad script good. So I bow down at the altar of writers." Ashby will be joined on Daytime Emmy night by his wife, Susan Walters, who is nominated for her role as Diane Jenkins Abbott in the category of Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, and their 2 daughters, Grace and Savannah, both grown now. It's not just women who wonder about what they'll wear on Daytime Emmy night. Lyndon chuckled that he hopes his tuxedo still fits and that he can find his pants. He has gotten a sneak peek at not only Walters' gown, but also the dresses their daughters will be wearing. Ashby has appeared in many genres as an actor, but he believes that working in soap operas is the toughest gig in professional performing. He suspects that many take it for granted how much preparation and talent can go into bringing a soap to life, but he says determination will help get the job done. Ashby's reel is short, but he believes that the work on it was pretty good. Cameron went pretty far in terms of being diabolical, but, as this time around, he was a figment of Sharon's imagination, the actor was able to go to different places in his performances. Young and the Restless spoilers for Oct 13 to 17, 2025 dive into a tense week filled with confrontations, secrets, and shifting alliances. Expect major drama as Kyle Abbott crosses lines and Kane Ashby lashes out in ways that shake Genoa City to its core. Victor Newman and Jill Abbott find themselves at odds over Kane. Victor insists Kane is a threat, while Jill refuses to believe her so-called son is capable of what Victor suggests. Nikki Newman tries to mediate, but her own suspicions grow when she hears about Kane's company, Arabesque, and its shady funding. Victor claims to have proof, while Jill accuses him of fabricating evidence for control. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson are already digging into the story, and they might uncover more than anyone expects. Jack Abbott faces Kane over the AI software that could destroy Genoa City's balance of power. Kane insists he's acting in everyone's best interests, but Jack doesn't buy it. The conversation heats up when Kane throws Jack's own history with Billy Abbott back in his face. Jill arrives mid-confrontation, and while Jack tries to warn her, she's tired of hearing accusations about Kane. This triangle of loyalty and mistrust could explode at any moment. Daniel Romalotti and Tessa Porter discussed the troubling situation involving Mariah Copeland, who's still being treated in a Boston clinic. They fear someone connected to her violent past could come after her. Tessa insists she'll visit her wife no matter what it takes, and Daniel's quiet longing adds emotional tension. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman remains worried from afar, trying to keep faith that Mariah will recover, unaware of how dangerous things might get. Lily Winters and Jill finally confront Kane after a damaging exposé from Newman Media. The revelations about Colin's inheritance and Kane's questionable empire leave Kane cornered and angry. As his world collapses, Phyllis Summers steps in, perhaps too close for comfort. Sparks fly between them, but Daniel suspects her motives. Meanwhile, Danny Romalotti and Christine Blair finalize wedding plans, though chaos may be waiting at their pre-wedding parties. Victor rewards Adam and Chelsea for their loyalty after the Kane takedown, but peace won't last. Kane retaliates, storming into Newman Media and threatening digital vengeance through his AI. Victoria Newman warned this would happen, and now the Newmans face the possibility of a cyber war that could destroy their empire. Jill, caught in the middle, must decide where her loyalties truly lie on Young and the Restless. Jack and Victor continue their dangerous game, both gunning for control of Kane's AI. Jack wants it as insurance. Victor wants it for domination. Kane, meanwhile, is unraveling. With Lily and Jill confronting him and Phyllis growing closer, he's on edge. This volatile triangle could ignite into all-out corporate warfare as old rivalries resurface and alliances fracture. Nick Newman heads to LA, unable to stay away from Sharon and Noah Newman. There, several new faces debut. Tamara Braun as Sienna Bacall, Matt Cohen as Detective Burrow, and Lucas Adams as recast Noah Newman. Roger Howarth's mystery character adds intrigue, while Holden Novak reconnects with Claire Grace Newman. Back in Genoa City, Kyle schemes to keep Holden away from Claire, and his actions could push her past her breaking point. Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins brace for more chaos as Kane, Victor, Jill, and Billy all circle one another in a dangerous dance. Nikki fears Victor's obsession with control could lead to tragedy. Billy's jealousy over Jill's soft spot for Kane grows, while Audra Charles spirals emotionally. As Kane finds himself cornered, retaliation may be his only escape. Fans of The Young and the Restless are buzzing after a shocking twist was hinted in the latest episodes. What began as an offhand mention from Daniel Romalotti has now exploded into one of the most suspenseful storylines in months. The mysterious man that Mariah Copeland nearly suffocated years ago, a name fans barely remember, is set to make a dramatic return to Genoa City, and his arrival promises to shake Mariah's world to its core. It all began when Daniel casually brought up the business trip that went terribly wrong, the one Mariah has kept buried deep. During that trip, she met an older man named Will Hensley, a charming yet manipulative figure with whom things spiraled out of control. According to Tessa, who recently pieced together fragments of that night, Mariah had been drinking heavily before things turned violent. Rumor has it, after a heated argument, she tried to suffocate Will in a fit of panic. He survived, but vanished before anyone could question him, until now. Tessa's concern grew when she revisited the hotel where the incident occurred. After showing staff Mariah's photo, one bartender finally opened up about the chaotic night, the drinking, the tension, and the confrontation that ended in near disaster. The revelation left Sharon Rosales stunned and defensive, torn between her instinct to protect her daughter and the unsettling facts emerging about what really happened. But Daniel's warning is what truly sent chills down everyone's spine. If Will's still alive, he said, he might not be done with Mariah. And it seems he's right. Recent leaks from the Young and the Restless production team confirm that Michael Swan will reprise his role as Will Hensley, setting the stage for a storyline that blurs the line between vengeance and obsession. According to insiders, Will has been living under the radar, gathering information, plotting, and preparing to return to Genoa City to confront Mariah face to face. The situation grows even darker when rumors suggest that Will may have ties to the late Ian Ward, the notorious cult leader who tormented Mariah for most of her life. Could Will have been one of Ian's disciples? Perhaps even someone sent to manipulate Mariah for reasons she still doesn't understand? Some fans even speculate that Ian Ward might still be alive, operating from the shadows and using Will as his messenger. Meanwhile, Mariah has left Genoa City to undergo therapy, unaware that the danger may be following her. Her absence has left Tessa and Sharon worried, especially since they can't reach her. Could Will be planning his next move while Mariah is isolated and vulnerable? The storyline seems poised to blend psychological tension with the kind of emotional drama The Young and the Restless delivers best. Will Mariah finally confront the demons of her past, or will her history with Ian Ward and Will Hensley pull her back into darkness? Fans are bracing for an explosive arc, one that may redefine Mariah's character and expose secrets long buried in the cult's twisted legacy. One thing is certain, Genoa City hasn't seen the last of Will Hensley, and Mariah's reckoning is just beginning. 2024 was a huge year for The Young and the Restless star Sharon Case. The actress celebrated her 30th anniversary with the soap opera and was in a major storyline. Her incredible performance earned her a well-deserved Daytime Emmy nomination for lead actress. Case has been an integral part of Y&R since 1994. Her character, Sharon, was introduced as the love interest and later wife of Nick Newman. Sharon and Nick, aka Schick, became one of the show's super couples. Throughout the past 3 decades, they've had an on-again, off-again relationship. Although they're divorced, the two are still friends, and Sharon often relies on Nick for support. In 2024, Sharon had to rely on Nick when she found herself in deep trouble. Sharon's problems began when she started a new medication for her bipolar disorder. It became evident the medicine wasn't working when she started having hallucinations of the deceased Cameron Kirsten. Cameron convinced Sharon to get revenge on Daniel, whom she blamed for her daughter, Cassie's death. Although Sharon was tempted, she realized she couldn't hurt Daniel or his family. However, things worsened when Heather caught Sharon in her apartment. An argument ensued between the two, resulting in Sharon blacking out. When Sharon came to, she was shocked to discover Heather was dead. Fearing she had killed Heather, Sharon rolled her body in a rug and dumped it in a river. Sharon tried to keep quiet and even planted evidence to frame Daniel for Heather's death. However, her conscience got the best of her, and she confessed to Nick. Although it looked like prison was in Sharon's future, she was the pawn in a sick game. Ian and Jordan were later revealed as Heather's killers and the ones who tampered with Sharon's meds. After her incredible 2024 storyline, Case was rewarded with a lead actress Daytime Emmy nomination. This is her second lead actress nomination and seventh overall. She was previously nominated for Younger Actress in '96 and '97. Case then earned Supporting Actress nominations in '99, 2000, and 2004, taking home the gold in '99. Fans believe that the actress is long overdue for another Emmy win. With her emotional performances from last year, Case has a good shot at putting another award on her Shell the Young, and the Restless preview video for the week of October 13th, 17 notes that Noah Newman will be in a devastating accident, while Holden Novak has an interesting connection to Sienna Bacall. The weekly promo opens with an intense scene between Victoria Newman and Kyle Abbott at Society. Victoria seems to be losing patience with her daughter's ex-boyfriend as she states, "What am I supposed to do, Kyle?" This is when Kyle tries to weasel information about Claire Newman's whereabouts in Los Angeles by asking Victoria for the address of where her daughter is staying. Victoria looks concerned at Kyle's request, so will she give him the information he wants? Kyle's looking to crash Holden and Claire's fun in LA to try to win his gal pal back. However, most fans can see this will be an epic fail. Meanwhile, new character Sienna Bacall makes an appearance in the Y&R weekly preview. Holden and Claire are at a funky bar in LA, with the blonde donning an equally funky outfit and hairstyle, sipping on some Vespers. They are laughing as Holden tells Sienna that he and Claire are just really good friends. This is when Sienna retorts that anyone is better than the last woman he was spending time with. Sienna goes on to say, "What was her name again? Audrey something or other?" Holden's face goes from a laugh to a serious look as Claire gives him an interesting glance back. It's clear that Sienna is referring to Audra Charles, so it appears that the GC characters she's connected with are Holden and the brunette. But does Sienna know Tucker McCall as well? Finally, as the Young and the Restless preview for the week of October 13th wraps up, a close-up of a distraught Sharon Newman is shown. She's crying and appears to be in a police station as she talks to Nick Newman, who is still at the Newman ranch. Sharon is panicked as she tells Nick that Noah Newman has been in a car accident, and it's bad. It's really bad. The Young and the Restless spoilers note the big Noah storyline is about to launch, which will also mark the debut of Detective Burrow. So it'll be a week of major bombshells and explosive events, with episodes fans won't want to miss. After her 2024 Daytime Emmy win, the Young and the Restless star Courtney Hope could score another victory this year. Hope is nominated again in the Supporting Actress category and is a strong contender to take home the award. Hope originated her role as Sally on The Bold and the Beautiful in 2017. The character was the niece of the show's iconic redhead fashionista, Sally Spectra Woing. Sally came to Los Angeles to reopen her aunt's business, Spectra Fashions. However, after bad luck in the fashion industry and her romance with Wyatt, Sally left town. Sally made her grand arrival in Genoa City in 2020. The businesswoman quickly made a significant impact, gaining enemies as she climbed the corporate ladder. Sally also caught the eye of many of Genoa City's handsome men, including Adam Newman. Sally and Adam, aka Allie, became one of Y&R's popular pairings. Yet like many couples, they had their ups and downs. 2024 would be a tough year for Sally and Adam. The couple had finally reunited after a long separation, and everything seemed to be going well. But Adam started spending more time with his ex-wife Chelsea as they dealt with Connor's OCD diagnosis. Sally was supportive as the exes worked together to help Connor. However, Adam would break Sally's heart when he cheated on her with Chelsea. Although Adam tried to keep the affair a secret, Sally discovered his betrayal. During a tense and emotional confrontation, Sally demanded the truth from Adam. When he finally confessed, Sally didn't hesitate to unleash her fury on him. Adam tried to salvage their relationship, but Sally was done with him and his lies. With her heart and trust broken, Sally then packed her bags and left Adam. Hope has been nominated 3 times for her role as Sally. Her first Supporting Actress nomination came in 2020 for her work on B&B. In 2024, she earned her first nomination for Y&R with her tear-jerking performance as Sally mourning the loss of her baby, Ava. The storyline helped Hope win the coveted award that year. This year's supporting actress race is stacked with Days of Our Lives stars Lindsay Godfrey and Emily O'Brien, plus General Hospital's Kate Mansi and Y&R star Susan Walters. But Hope's performance during Sally and Adam's breakup has given her a good shot at scoring back-to-back wins. The Young and the Restless scoop for Thursday, October 9th, reveals Kane Ashby will realize his hopes for a reunion with Lily Winters have been dashed. Also coming up, Jack Abbott will have a vengeful plan up his sleeve. Plus, Daniel Romalotti will tell Phyllis Summers he's going to Boston with Tessa Porter, and Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will publish the hit piece. Y&R spoilers tease Jack will return to Jabot and tell Diane Jenkins about everything that went down. He'll say he's hoping Kane will give the AI software to Jill Abbott. In turn, Jill could give it to him to destroy. But first, he'll use it against Victor Newman. Diane will say she's all in. At Newman Media, Chelsea will ask Nick Newman how they can defend themselves against something they don't even know exists. Talk will turn to the expose on Kane, and Chelsea will worry they're going at him too hard. His kids are going to see this, Lily. And if he loses them, he's got nothing left to lose, she'll add. Nick will say that's why they have to be all in. Adam will ask if she's ready, and she'll say she is, once Victor gives the okay. Then he'll get a notification from Victor telling him to publish. Nick will say they seem to have everything under control, so he's leaving. He wants to meet Sharon Newman in LA. Chelsea will tell him to go. They have a handle on things. But Adam will encourage him to stay, saying Victor would want him in town. On Kane's choo-choo train, Jill will tell him Victor told her some disturbing things. She'll ask if Colin Atkinson scammed a woman to get the chateau. Kane will say Victor claims to believe it, but was also blackmailing him to get Jabot. However, he was not going to let himself be manipulated. So, Jill will ask Kane if he had anything to do with Colin targeting the rich woman to get the money for Arabesque. And he'll say he didn't. But Madame de Leon, he courted her, dazzled her, and stole a fortune from her, Jill will reply. She'll ask if he knew the money he got was dirty. Absolutely, I swear on the souls of my children, Kane will reply. Don't you dare swear on the souls of our children to cover your deceit, Lily will say, walking up behind him. As usual, she'll be holding a huge purse to hide her belly. Jill will say hello to Lily, and Kane will tell her he didn't know she was coming. Given the fact that our kids are going to read that their grandfather was scamming a dying old woman, Kane will realize Victor made good on his threat. You lied again. You made me think he was a changed man, she'll tell him. Then Lily will say after their kids read the story, they'll see Kane as his father's son. She'll repeat her usual rant against her ex and storm off. A teary-eyed Kane will tell Jill he can't fix this. It's over. Meanwhile, Phyllis will ask Daniel why he's accompanying Tessa to Boston. He'll get defensive, and Phyllis will ask if he has feelings for her. Daniel will deny it, but Phyllis will say she talked to his dad and he confirmed it. He'll be shocked that his father would betray his confidence. I didn't talk to your dad, Phyllis will admit, but you just confirmed it. Daniel will say he doesn't need her advice or worry, but Phyllis will tell him if he goes down this road, there'll be a lot of pain involved. Daniel will tell her he's a grown-ass man who doesn't need his mommy meddling. Unrequited love is a very special kind of hell, Phyllis will reply. Let her lean on someone else. She doesn't need you. Then Lily will show up and she'll rant about the Newman Media piece on Kane. Thank you, Phyllis, for being the reason Kane won't go away, she'll add. Phyllis will look at the article and tell Lily it'll blow over. It is crazy that you won't stop defending him, Lily will reply. Finally, Phyllis will get a call from Kane and step onto the patio to take it. She'll tell him she knows she saw the article. I need to see you now, Kane will reply. It's urgent. So, is Kane planning to retaliate? Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news, and make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless recap for Thursday, October 9th, states that Jack Abbott will reveal his dark plan against Victor Newman. while Jill Abbott believes every word Kane Ashby uttered. Jill walked into the train cab to see Jack and Kane conversing and nicely asked Jack to leave. After some pleasantries, he did just that, and Jill got right down to the point. She asked Kane if he knew about Colin Atkinson's last con of the woman in Nice, and if he knew that the money Colin scammed was the very cash that funded Kane's current empire. Kane tried to skirt Jill's questions, but when push came to shove, he told Jill that he didn't know about Colin's con, and he's not even sure if what Victor Newman is claiming about his father is true. After all, Kane questioned if Jill saw regret in Colin's eyes about the scheming life he lived before he passed, and Jill believed that Colin did change, and his intentions were good. Kane told Jill that Victor had blackmailed him, but he wasn't about to back down or be manipulated by him. He also doubted whether Victor had real proof. Jill was still skeptical and asked her pseudo-son if he plans on making amends. Over to the Newman media offices, Chelsea Lawson, Adam Newman, and Nick Newman are all hunched over a computer, reading over the exposé about Kane and his father that they were about to publish. While they waited for Victor to okay the story, Chelsea fretted a bit about the repercussions that could come from Kane. However, both Adam and Nick felt as if they were prepared for the worst. In fact, Nick believed that they got through to Jill to sway Kane from using that AI software. Nick was hoping Jill would snag the program and give it to them to destroy. With that said, Victor sent a text to publish the piece, and the proverbial poop hit the fan. Adam and Chelsea were fielding calls from other journalists, many of whom were asking about their source for the article. Chelsea worried, but Adam assured her the article had been vetted by legal. Meanwhile, Nick went back and forth as to whether or not he should jet off to LA to join Sharon Newman with Noah Newman, as his son was having unknown problems. Still, Adam advised against it, and Nick decided to stay put, for now. At Crimson, Y&R recaps for Thursday's show note that Phyllis Summers met up for coffee with Daniel Romalotti. He informed his mom that he was heading to Boston with Tessa Porter, and Phyllis tricked him into admitting he had feelings for his friend. Phyllis encouraged Daniel not to go on this trip. She doesn't want him to get hurt. However, Daniel insisted that even though he does like Tessa, he knows her heart belongs to Mariah Copeland. Back at Kane's train cabin, Jill lightened her stance after Kane swore on his kids that he knew nothing about Colin's so-called last con. This is when Lily Winters entered the equation. She had just read Newman Media's article about him and Colin and was enraged. She basically told him there was no way the twins would ever trust him again. And even though Jill tried to defend him and intervene, Lily didn't want to hear it. She stormed out just as fast as she stormed in, leaving Kane emotional as he realized things were truly over between him and the woman of his dreams. Still, Jill encouraged him to fix things with this family by proving himself through action, not words, just like his father did. Jill did all she could to hype Kane up and realized this was nowhere near the end for him and the kids, possibly even Lily. Over to Jabot, Jack was in his office, reflecting on his conversation with Kane, when Diane Abbott came in. The two started with small talk, which eventually became heavier. Jack told Diane about his interaction with Kane and his hope that Jill would intervene. Much like Victor, Jack is hoping that Jill will snag that AI software and give it to him. Diane expresses worry that Victor will get to her first, but Jack doesn't seem concerned. Still, Diane wondered what Jack would do once he had the AI software in his hands. Would he destroy it? Jack reveals that his plan would be to use it against Newman. After all, Victor worked overtime to ruin Kyle Abbott's life and turn him against them this year, plus everything else he's done to them in the past. At first, it seemed as if Diane might disapprove of Jack digging into his dark side. But she ends up reaching in and showing her approval with a smile, embracing him, and laying a kiss on her husband. Finally, after leaving Kane, Lily headed to Crimson and ran into Daniel and Phyllis. She ranted about her ex and then lashed out at Phyllis for encouraging Kane's destructive behavior. Phyllis was more than a little taken aback, and thankfully, a sudden phone call helped her escape Lily's wrath. Phyllis took the call from the Crimson patio as Lily glared at her through the window, and it ended up being Kane, who summoned Phyllis to this train cab, urgently. The young and the restless spoilers hint that after Jill encouraged Kane to do something good to prove to his kids that he's not a ruthless person, Phyllis might be the last person that can help him with this. So is he looking for her to assist him with business activities or something else?